Tuesday and welcome to our live class. So we ran a poll earlier on, first of all to see did you want us to come on live at 1, so the vote seemed to be yes, and then we said what container would you prefer us to use. So I've shown you where the container comes in round. Forgot to show you that one, it's kind of square, but the vote seemed to be everybody wanted the rectangle one, so that's the one I'm going to demonstrate today. I already have it filled with floral foam. The foam has been wet and the container is already plastic lined, which I showed earlier on. So we'll just throw them out of the way. So to get this party started, who's watching? Where are you watching from? What's the weather like? And by the way, who had that mad storm last night? I know here in Dublin, about 8:30, 9 o'clock. No,
it was even earlier. I'd say about 6 or 7. It was.
Well, it was about 8 o'clock in Rialto because I was talking to the students on the WhatsApp, and I said, "Can you hear the noise in the background between the thunder?" The rain was lashing down and the lightning was lighting up the house. It was absolutely mad. But yet one of our students, I think she said she was in Carlow this morning, and she had that storm this morning that we had last night. Absolutely mad it was. Okay, so comment underneath if you have any questions, and we're going to have a giveaway. And we also have to let you know, I'm always talking about Evergreen silk plants, and this container is not from Evergreen silk plants, but it has something similar, by the way. But Charlie and Paula, they're based up in Ardee, County Louth, and like we've been up there a couple of times. I've done videos from up there showing you the stock that they have, because they have amazing stuff. But the great news is they've moved to a new warehouse, and I hear, haven't seen it yet, but I hear it's absolutely huge. I heard that it used to be an old gym and that there's lots of mirrors on the wall so we can all look at ourselves, so it'll be brilliant. But it'll really display his stock off fantastically. Now he's having an official opening, and as far as I know, everybody's invited. It's an open invitation.
Well, we're inviting everyone now.
House. We're inviting everybody anyway. We're going. So it's on the 24th of May, so it's Wednesday. So Wednesday 2 weeks, yeah. Tomorrow 2 weeks. Up in Ardee, don't know the time yet, don't know what the dress code is.
I think it's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, is it?
Yeah.
Is it bring your own beer or bring your own egg sandwiches?
I say bring your own egg sandwiches.
Bring your own egg sandwiches. Not sure about the beer and the wine yet. We can always sneak in a little bottle anyway, and we can have a little sneaky one. I'd say it's going to be a great night. I'd love to meet loads of you there. If anybody can put it in the comments there, tag Evergreen Silk Plants, put the 24th of May. I think it's 7 o'clock, but we'll come back on that. We'll confirm the dress code. Is it dressy or casual, or just turn up in your
I'd say
gym
just
gear?
turn up, whatever way you want to turn up.
And we'll confirm about the egg and onion sandwiches and the bottles of wine, whether you have to bring your own. Anyway, what else have we got to tell you? Oh yeah, floral guppies. So floral guppy, James over in Canada. When you go to tag it, his original Floral Guppy page was hacked, okay? But it'll come up Floral Guppy Wholesaler or Wholesale. The word wholesale will be in it. So if somebody's tagging them, you might actually tag them under that page. So these are the foam-free containers. These are all reusable, okay? And again, it's recycled plastic that's used in them. And you can use them for flower arranging, and you can also use them for bridal work. So he sent me over a lot of them with some lovely little gift bags, and we're going to have a giveaway today. Now, rather than putting one in the bag, I'm going to put about 4 or 5 in the bag.
Yeah, I think so. We're
and
going
I'll
to
put
post
a little instruction card in the bag telling you exactly how to use them, okay? But when I send them out to you, they will come in 2 halves. Now, I will make sure I have the right halves together, because when you buy them, you get what's called a positive and a negative. And the usual, I have all positives here. Yeah, I have. Okay. So the positives have the little piece sticking out, and the negative is like the little catch that clicks into. So you have 2 of them, but I put 5 sets, okay, in the little gift bag. And what will happen is you put them in hot water. All the instructions will be in the cards that I put in the gift bag with it, and then they attach together. You can mould them into a kind of an oblong shape, more roundy shape. You have a little bit of control over it by placing it in the hot water. And the great thing about them, if you're using them with glass containers, they're transparent, so you don't see them at all. It's nearly like they're invisible. Same thing with bridal work. Instead of using chicken wire, which can be a little bit rough on your hand, that's what one looks like there. Do you see? So that's your guppy there, and when it's after being in the water, there's still a certain amount of movement in it, but as you can see, it's much easier to work with than it is to work with chicken wire. Okay, so I don't know what the question is going to be. Somebody come up with a question that you think will be a good question that we decide who the winners is going to be for our guppy holders. And I have 2 bags. I've actually more than 2 bags. but I'll give more away another day. So we're going to pick 2 winners today, one on Instagram, I think. Yeah,
one on Instagram and one on Facebook. And I think, do you know what? Tag a friend.
Yeah.
Tag a friend in the comments.
Okay, so
and everyone that tags a friend in the comments, we will pick you. And
so if you tag loads of friends,
yeah,
you could be in with a bigger chance. And also we'd love you to share our posts, okay? Because again, if you share our posts, it gets the word out there. So if you share the post while you're watching here, put in the comments, I shared on my own page, I shared on my business page, I shared in my local flower arranging group, or whatever it is. So share it somewhere, let us know. Now there's no point in sharing it in the Flowery Fun group, I can do that myself, okay? So get involved, interact, and let us know what's going on.
Anna May wants to know what module is the Guppy used in?
Module 3 is what it's used in. So we mostly use them for bridal bouquets, for again them cascading, free flow, again wild effect, or if you're doing a wedding bouquet and you choose not to use foliage, just use all flowers, they're ideal. Now there is other methods you can use, but they're ideal for that. And by the way, the arrangement that I'm going to do today, I'm not going to use any foliage. Couple of questions, there's loads happening at the moment. People are asking me about reflexing roses. Do I like it? I'm kind of on the fence. I do like it, and then I don't like it. I don't like it because it makes the roses deteriorate faster. They're obviously not going to last as long if you do it, but it's quite easy to do, and you're better off using older roses for it, like roses that are just that little bit softer. First of all, we have the stem strippers back in stock. If anybody wants to buy them, go to our website, www.caseflowerschool.com, click down to the floral sundries for sale, and you'll be able to buy one, and we'll post it out to you. I personally find, I'll pull back some of these leaves so you can see what's happening there, right? So I personally find if you hold the rose upside down when you're reflexing it, it's easier, but to be honest, it's much of a muchness. So you're getting the rose, and then you're using your thumb, and you're basically turning the rose, can you see, like inside out? And then you're working your way around, and you're getting the next rose, and you're turning that also inside out. So you can see how it eventually will affect the longevity of the rose, because you're handling the petals, that way. It's like with baby carnations or large carnations. I'm always saying to the students, don't force them with your fingers. Even though you often see some people tell you to force them with your fingers, it's definitely going to deteriorate the longevity of the flower by you handling the petal and manhandling.
It's really ideal, I suppose, for an event for that day.
A wedding, that way, do it the night before, that way, of a wedding bouquet that you're going to make up, it'd be absolutely fine. But you wouldn't want to be doing this for something that's going to last for ages, or maybe do it for a focal flower, like don't do it to every flower. But that's basically what it looks like, that way, when you reflex your roses. I've done a couple of them here, that way, just to give you an idea. It does look nice, that way, but then you get mixed remarks. Again, comment below, do you like it, do you not like it? Again, these are kind of some smaller roses. That one's not reflexed there, they are, that way, just to give you an idea.
Somebody's saying we're freezing a good bit over on Facebook.
It's absolutely freezing. It's supposed to be the summer, the way. I know it's freezing. Put on a warm jumper, put on your sleeping bag.
No, the camera is freezing. Oh, okay.
I'm slagging. It's a joke, dear. It's a joke.
Sorry, I wasn't with it. Not like you to joke.
Absolutely not. So first thing is wire your floral foam in. So what you can do is get your gutter tape. You can run the wire along the outside. I do have a video on YouTube showing you step by step how to do this, because I want to keep this short and snappy here today. And then what you can do is hook your wire in through the plastic of the box, catch it around, and then do the same on the opposite side. And again, it's just a way of making sure, in case some gobshite turns this upside down, that the flowers or the floral foam won't fall out. Now the thing is, this is actually quite heavy. The container is heavy, and then the floral foam itself makes it heavy. So I'll just move some of them materials over there. So what I have is a couple of roses, couple of Germany in different colours, okay? That's how we wrap the Germany when they come in, to prevent them kind of bending over, what we call breaking its neck. I have a couple of stems of Lysianthus. I have a couple of stems of September flower or Aster, Michaelmas Daisy. There's loads of different names for it. And we have a couple of stems of Gyp. Now people are always saying about Gyp and about the smell of it. There's absolutely no smell of this, as in no bad smell. There's not really a nice smell either. There's no smell of this Gyp. It all has to do with the growers and the time of year. Like all Gyp wedding bouquets are very fashionable. I was talking to one of my students there only a little while ago. She has a wedding on next month, and the arrangements are going to be all Gyp as well. So it's definitely the in thing at the moment. So the idea of this class, anybody has any questions, I'm looking for my scissors, put them in the comments and Deirdre will call them out to me. I have one here. But the idea of this arrangement is to keep it really short, simple, and what would you say, foolproof. Simple, stupid, as we would call it, that you can copy this at home, that you can go to your local florist, you could go to the local supermarket, and if you buy mixed flowers, you know the way, and once the colours kind of tone in with each other, I always say you can't go wrong with shades. If you go for shades of yellows, shades of oranges and peaches, shades of purples and pinks, you can't go wrong. Some sort of filler for going in between it, like say the September flower or the gyp, and you can use foliage, of course. I'm just decided today that I'm not going to use foliage. So when you're making this arrangement, cut your flowers on a slant, remove any foliage that's near the end, and I'm going to do this like two-sided. So for people that's looking on that side of the table, they have that nice rose there, and then we'll leave one that's a little bit tighter. I always like smaller flowers at the top and bigger flowers at the bottom. So again, we'll just kind of bring this one up just a little bit taller over it. But for the people that are on this side of the table, okay, I'm going to do an arrangement on this side for them. So again, I'm going to bring one rose down there, and I'm going to bring another rose down that little bit lower. And I'm going to turn this around to you in a second, just to let you see what it looks like. So now I'm going to start with the Germanies. I've just found the scissors now, it was under the roses. So as I said, I have a couple of different shades of the Germany. With Germany, you kind of find that they're nearly always the same size. You don't really get big ones and small ones, you know that way. But I'll show you little tricks here where you can actually make your Germany a little bit smaller if you want to. So
it's gas actually, Janette. There's lots of mixed. Some people love the reflex and some people really don't like the reflex. Yeah. It's funny how it's actually nearly half and half as to who likes it and who doesn't. Celine has actually put up the link to the gutter taping video on YouTube. Thanks a million, Celine, for that. Lots of people commenting there on wanting to get the guppies. So if maybe, and I think Celine did tag them on Facebook. If somebody could tag them over on Instagram, it's Floral Guppy Wholesale on Instagram. If you can tag them over there, it would be fantastic.
When you do go to tag them, Floral Guppy comes up on its own, but that was his old page and he got hacked on Instagram, you know. So you're as well not to use that page. Use the one that actually has the word wholesale in it, and it'll be much better. Yeah,
there's lots of people looking about the Floral Guppy. We actually have a couple of free tutorials done with using the Floral Guppy for flower arrangements and stuff like that. I must root them out. Perfect Petals, Angela King has tagged Floral Guppy Wholesale over on Instagram. Thanks a million, Angela, for that.
But also one of our students actually sells them here in Ireland. She has the agency for it. We call her Fiona Guppy. That's not a real
Mahon
name.
Flowers.
Mahon Flowers. Not sure what county she's in. If somebody maybe can tag her, Celine, you might know what her tag is. You might actually put her in there, and you can contact her. And I know she has the agency for it, and you'll be able to buy them directly from herself.
Perfect. And Celine has put up the link to the free conditioning program.
We have to give Celine a job.
We'll have to give. I think we'll send Celine down a few guppies anyway.
Absolutely. That's
Jacinta wants to know, what is a guppy, Janette?
What is a guppy? Okay, so these are what the guppies look like, and we got a delivery of them the other day, and he sent me some gift bags and a couple of freebies, and he said, any chance, Janette, give them a shout out and send them out to your students. So I'm going to put 5 guppies in a bag and send them out. And Celine, send me your address because I'm going to send you 5 as well. So they come in 2 halves. I'll put the instructions, the little instruction card, in the little gift bag. Wasn't this a great gift bag? So what could you put in that bag? Imagine, you could put your knickers in that bag.
There you go, yeah.
There you go. Grand little gift bag with his logo on the front of it. They come in 2 halves. There's a positive and a negative. I've 2 the same here at the moment, but I'll make sure I'll send out the right ones. You put them in hot water to soften them, and then they join up together. And I did have one joined up. Don't know where it's gone. This floor is an absolute state. But anyway, you join them up together, and they're for foam-free flower arranging. You know the way people, it's an actual armature is the right name, but where people use chicken wire or
twigs or
twigs,
exactly. Chapel.
This is recycled plastic. They can be used over and over again. They can be placed back in the hot water to remold the shape, you know what I mean, to get it into a slightly different shape. And again, they go transparent in water. So if you're using glass vases, they're absolutely brilliant. We do have a few videos using these over on YouTube. If you pop over to our YouTube channel, you'll find them. So what I'll do is I'll put 10 halves, like 5 sets in a bag with the instructions, and how you get in on the competition. Celine's getting them for nothing because she's our virtual assistant there. Our real assistant is over in Venice sunning herself and having a great time. And if you follow Inverdub over on Instagram, her husband obviously is Scottish, okay? And when they were in Venice, they met up with a Scottish band. I'd say Gary had a good few drinks on him and decided to sing Flower of Scotland at the top of his voice. He belted it out of his lungs, you know, that way, and it was absolutely gas crack it was. So if you pop over to Inverdub and you can follow her over there.
Martina wants to know, is the guppy the same as the Holly Chapel egg? The Holly Chapel egg is just there.
Slightly, where is it?
On the shelf.
Oh, here it is. It's on the floor because I was talking about it there earlier on. So, sorry if I'm off camera. I'll be back in now in a second. So, the Holly Chapel, she has her pillows and her cushions, okay? They come in 2 halves, again, positives and negatives. And she has the little cage one, but she hasn't got a roundy one. And most vases, the top of the vase is roundy. So, that's where I find the guppy is better.
And the guppy is pliable to fit into any shape.
Yeah, and again, because you can put it into hot water, you can mould it, where with this one, it's rigid plastic. But these are brilliant as well, you know, that way. Maybe if Holly Chapel sends us over a few of these. Go on, Celine, tag Holly Chapel there. She might send us over a few of them to give out as a gift to us, and then we can kind of compare them. But depending on, like, I have a smaller version of this box that I actually did buy in Evergreen silk plants. I'll show it to you here, actually. And you can see where I do use the cages because the Holly Chapel cage fits down perfect in it. And again, for doing foam-free designs, and all of these are reusable. So again, the girls might tag Holly Chapel. Well, Celine has to do it because she's getting paid. So they tag them, and you can. I think you can buy them from Amazon and. What's the other name that she has?
Syndicate Sales.
Syndicate Sales. Celine, see, can you find a tag for Syndicate Sales, and you can buy them from.
Somebody is asking, does the Holly Chapel come in different shapes?
Yeah, three shapes.
Three shapes, but they're rigid shapes, so they're.
Yeah. So there's the big cushion, there's a smaller pillow, or is it the opposite way around? The opposite way around. Big pillow, small cushion, they're both roundy, but they fit her containers, so they don't fit every container. And then you have the cage, the one that I've just showed you there. Or the egg, sorry, the egg.
Yeah, lots of people saying they'd never heard of them, that they'd love to try them. So maybe we need to do a few more tutorials with that sort of stuff, Janette.
Absolutely. Like, we are working on a kind of a foam-free tutorials. We've added a few of them over to YouTube. They're all free. Over on Module 1, our students have access to them all.
We've added into a lot of the programs, a lot of sustainable course. Is Celine now on the payroll? Olive wants to know. She doesn't realise it yet.
She doesn't realise it, you know that way. She's on the free payroll.
Noreen says she loved working with the guppy on the modules. Let me see. Somebody's asking, when is our next module 1 starting?
Good question. Module 1 is starting on the 31st of May. And if you miss that one, you're going to have to wait till I think around the 18th of September for the next one. So the 31st of May, we got news on Monday that SkillNets are actually funding 10 places on it, okay? So they will give a €200 discount to anyone who wants to do the Module 1 if you're living in Ireland. Drop me an email and I can send you out the information on the criteria. info@caseflowerschool.com is our email address. But it's well worth availing of the discount, you know, that way, where the course is €800, you get like buckets and like 10 buckets of flowers you actually get sent out to you. It's all included in the price, but if you book it through SkillNets, the course costs you €600. So it's an absolute huge saving. And the only thing that you have to buy yourself is your flower buckets for storing the flowers in. And in the meantime, check out the likes of Lidl or Aldi. Like when they're giving away their free buckets, which they do, you'll be able to use them. They work out perfect for the Module 1 course. So I just have a couple of flowers in there first, and now I'm going to move on to some of the September flower. So this is my filler. So when you're cutting the September flower, rather than cutting off all these little side shoots, which is a pain in the arse, okay, cut down in between the main stems. Do you see like what I'm doing there? Oops, days, cut that one right. And cut down in between it. And cut down in between it. And you see the way you get these kind of like wild kind of garden. And again, for that kind of like freestyle kind of garden style looking, it's absolutely brilliant. So that's like the mileage I got out of that one stem, instead of cutting up all them fecky kind of like little pieces.
Somebody else just asked you, do you use the floral foam with the guppy or with the eggs?
No. So the idea is that it's instead of floral foam. So some people prefer, obviously for the environment, prefer not to use floral foam. There's certain, well, I believe there's certain designs designs like you kind of have to use commercially, I suppose you have to do it. It's different if you're doing it for pleasure. You could manage without floral foam. But in a flower shop, a lot of them from, I suppose, a commercial point of view, from a profitable point of view, you probably find that floral foam works best, like funeral designs, like hearts and crosses and pillows and cushions and gates of heaven. Yes, they could be done foam free. Probably going to cost you an awful lot more money. The other problem sometimes with the foam free in some designs, maybe with the chicken wire, is they don't have a huge water source. Some of them, do you know that way? So again, if you're doing it commercially and you're trying to make arrangements in advance, because that takes a lot of pressure off us in flower shops, you kind of find that you're restricted, you know that way. So where with foam is you can do it in advance, but then foam free is better for the environment. So you have to kind of like weigh it up.
Somebody's in there from Scotland, because she heard about Gary singing, and she wants to know, can she join the Module 1 course in May?
Absolutely. We've actually we've two Scottish people living in Scotland attending Module 1 at the moment, and we've one Scottish person and she's in Galway.
Oh,
so
right.
She emigrated over here 20 years ago, married an Irish fella, and she's obviously attending the course.
And that's another question there, do we have online classes?
Yeah, so all our classes are online that we do here at the school, and they're all pre-recorded tutorials, so you're not depending on Wi-Fi or Zoom classes. You can do them at your own pace. If you find that you're a slow learner and you want to rewind and listen to it again, and rewind and listen to it again, you'll be sick of listening to me. You'll probably feel that I've moved into your house, you know that way, when you're attending the course. It's a 4-week program. You can actually do it quicker than 4 weeks. But we give you 4 weeks so that everybody has plenty of time and nobody is under pressure or nobody is stressed, you know that way, while you're doing the course. Because always things happen. Like actually one of the Scottish students there the other day, now she wasn't hurt, but she was in an accident in her car. So that kind of delayed her for a day or two, do you know that way, with her arrangements. And again, you get people, things happen, people are sick, kids are sick, somebody got COVID, whatever it might be. It just means that you can do the course at your own pace. So there's no problem. We also have somebody from England, a couple of people from England attending the course. We also have a couple of people from Wales attending the course. We have Janette from America attending the course. We had Charisse from America attending the course. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, anybody can attend our courses.
Sorry, Janette, they were just, again in the UK, was just asking about, so how do they get their flowers if the Irish get their flowers delivered?
So what we do is we give the UK and the Americans and the Australians, we give you a discount, send us an email and we'll send you the information. And then we give you the list of suppliers that's in your area where you can get your flowers. Now, when I say our students, obviously you're all going to be our students, but our students, what we do is we get their flower delivery direct from Holland. And before Brexit with the UK, we also got their flowers direct from Holland for them. But now with Brexit and customs and all the rest, the truck is not allowed open halfway. Where the truck comes from Holland, UK and then Ireland, they come on the boats. And beforehand they'd open the truck, give the UK students their flowers and then continue on to Dublin. But now they can't do that. So it's obviously all to do with customs. But what we can do is we can still set you up with an account with the Dutch supplier, and then you get your flowers directly going to England on a different truck. They open it and they deliver it. It's not a problem. Like again, our Scottish students that I was talking about, she got her flowers from Hook Flowers, which is who we use, and Michelle, that's also from the UK with us here at the moment, she also got her flowers direct from the Dutch suppliers. Flowers are much cheaper. They can also buy in all their sundries as well. So they bought in, we supplied them with flower food, but I know some of the girls bought big boxes of flower food that they have it forever, or some of the chemicals like Quick Dip and Chrysal Glory and Leaf Shine and whatever it might be. So that's all organised. Don't worry about that. We sort all that out for you.
Celine has the link up for Module 1. Fair play to you, Celine. Eleanor saying that she's loving this arrangement.
Again, as I said, I'm just keeping it dead simple, as you can see, Eleanor. I'm cutting off like little pieces of jip and just basically sticking it in because there wasn't any greenery. You see, now you can see over here, that's what we call a cop-on spot. That was something yesterday over on our Facebook page. It was actually great crack. First of all, I posted a photograph on Saturday of Princess Kate, who I love, and her little daughter Charlotte wearing them beautiful flower crowns, and it got huge interaction. It was a bit of controversy, but you know, I mean, everyone's for themselves, but it got huge interaction. So yesterday a lovely photograph came up of Charlotte and Louis, is that the little fella?
Yeah.
The 2 kids anyway. And whatever way they were looking and they were pointing in the church. So we kind of dicked the photograph up a little bit ourselves, and we were kind of pretending that Charlotte was saying, look at the cop-on spot in the arrangement. Anybody that's been a student with us here at the school, go down through the Case Flower School page when you're finished here today, and you'll see kind of what I mean. And like Louis is saying, she mustn't have been listening to Janette when she was on our classes, fill in, fill in, fill in. So these are like little sayings or slogans that I use at the class, telling them fill in, fill in, fill in, look for your cop-on spot. So you can see the way I just kind of fill that in a little bit, and over the other end, there's another little bit of the cop-on spot. Now again, if you're using greenery, you would get away with less material than I'm putting in today, but I just wanted to show, it just seems to be on trend at the moment, is making things kind of like garden looking, not using foliage, just kind of like using flowers. And remember, this can be flowers out of your own garden when they come into flower. Like last week there, we seen the ceanothus is in flower in most people's gardens. The choicey is in flower. What else is coming into flower there, Deirdre?
Ceanothus is coming in. Did you say that? Sorry,
Sorry.
I'm reading the comments here. I am.
The red robin had a lovely flower.
That had a lovely flower on it. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Any of them, you could do this with just your garden foliage, and with happens to have a little flower on it.
Olive says, thought your cop-on spot mention from the coronation was brilliant.
Yeah. And it was gas, like some people that obviously hadn't done a course with us didn't get the joke, you know what I mean? Saying like, what? And how do you explain that? How do you explain that to somebody who English is not their first language? What a cop-on spot is? Just be hard enough when they're here at the classes, or they're actually on the online classes with us. But we do have a couple of these mad sayings, and after a while, the students start to say it themselves. They even get a Dublin accent. When you're on an online course with us here at Case Flower School, you'll probably find that I move into your house for the month, you know, that way. I'll be with you for the 4 weeks. I'll be in bed with you. So listen, move over and give me part of the pillow. And that's the great thing, is you can watch the tutorials anywhere in the house, even in the bed. I know I have a couple of students, if Aoife is watching, her lovely little daughter Robin, she wants to see Robin doing the flower arrangement. She's absolutely a whiz kid at it, because all she's doing is listening to me, and now she's getting involved and she's helping her mum. She put a lovely video up over there helping to do an arrangement the other day. What's her page? The
Harvest Blooms, isn't it?
Harvest Blooms by Aoife is her page on Instagram. Somebody might tell
Flowers
her.
by Madeline said, to be sure, to be sure, to be feckin' well sure.
To be feckin' well sure. 2 condoms. To be on the safe side. Okay, I think there's plenty.
I think there's loads in it,
so
yeah.
there is your little window box arrangement. I've done it, that can be done down the centre of the table. This time of the year, lots of communions. Anybody in the comments there got kids for communion? This would be ideal just to have down the centre of the table. But obviously if you're placing it on a sideboard, you could just do one-sided and you can come up much higher. But normally in our house, we like to see each other.
Yeah.
We're not arguing,
No.
We're still talking to each other. So, do you know, I forgot me pussies.
Oh, you forgot your pussy. Okay, well, while you're doing that, I have the winners
Okay.
of the Floral Guppies. So over on Instagram, the winner is Scent and Flowers.
All right,
You're the winner
that's a
over on
lovely
Instagram.
name.
And on Facebook, the winner is Deirdre Moore. So,
Okay.
same as myself.
Drop us an email, info@caseflowerschool.com, your address, your name, your address, your air code, and we'll get them in the post to you today or tomorrow. I'll get them in the post to you today. I'll actually post them today to you. And Celine, you send me yours. That'll be your wages for today.
Yeah.
and
Celine has tagged Harvest Blooms as well.
And if you have any questions, put them in the comments, and Celine will answer you all later on this evening. Any links that you want, just put it all in the comments. If anybody hasn't yet signed up to our online program on conditioning and treatment of the flowers, okay, it's completely free. There's over 70 different arrangements, 70 different flowers, I meant to say, flowers and foliage, giving you step-by-step conditioning and treatment of them. So it's well worth availing of it. You have 6 months access to it for free, and then you can decide if you want to buy it. So
Olive said that it's gorgeous, so she's going to send on her address for delivery of the flowers.
Only if you're having a communion, and only if we're invited. Anyway, who's going to come up to Evergreen Silk Plants? Anybody coming up on the 24th of May? Give us a shout. Might be looking for a lift, because it means if we have a few drinks, then
we'll have a lift home.
We'll have a lift home. So any designated drivers out there that want to volunteer, I'd say Celine might drive with her.
From Tipperary.
Well, see, her man lives in Dublin.
Oh, she does.
She
That's
could
right.
come up.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
say she needs to visit her man.
I say she does.
I say her
definitely.
man is missing her, you know, that way. So Celine could come up, visit her man, give us a lift up to RD, give us a lift back, you know, that way. Her man will have a bottle of wine ready for her then when she
That's
comes home. Sure, everything will be honky-dory and everybody be happy. We'd be happy anyway. Listen, thanks a million everybody for joining in. Really appreciate all your support. You know we're always asking is there any chance of sharing our videos, and like let's get the word out there. And sure, listen, you never know when we might pop on again, so keep a watch out. Talk to you all soon. Bye bye. Good timing.